The Accelerate programme's a leadership programme for aspiring NHS managers.
The course, in one word, is amazing.
The learning that I've taken from the Accelerate has had a huge impact on the people that I lead. The Accelerate programme has really benefited me in all aspects of my life.
This is an opportunity for me to go back to my workplace and say, well, I've done something that not many people in my workplace are going to get to do.
It's been a lot about managing myself, learning how I can be a better leader.
I've used it every single day in both personal and professional life.
The Accelerate programme is a programme designed to support a range of professionals from various backgrounds to survive and thrive in the current conditions of the NHS.
It looks at 4 areas. So it looks first of all about how do you lead and manage yourself. And then we look at leadership in roles. So some of the people on the course actually manage teams. We look at leadership within sort of wider systems, because the NHS is a complex place. So how can you relate to other people? How can you lead across agencies? And then the main thrust of it all is how can we make all of that work for better patient care.
The fabulous thing about this is this isn't about status, it's not about grade or authority, it's about developing as a leader wherever you are in the service.
The course is based on basically what works in life, and a lot of it's drawn from something called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. It looks at what works naturally in life, and then how can you teach that on to other people quickly and easily. There aren't any essays, there aren't any assignments. What we ask is that people take what they learn back into the workplace and apply it there in a very practical way.
When I looked at the Accelerate programme, I was curious to know what made a good leader, how they were able to better communicate with people, and some of the skills that I could pick up to do that better.
I've been sort of thinking about what I wanted to do with my future. It's that age-old question everybody gets asked in an interview, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? And I was kind of at that crossroads thinking, where do I want to be in 5 years' time? I heard about this fantastic NLP programme and decided that this could be something that I'd be really interested in doing. I didn't know what to expect. Initially, it was advertised as an NLP course. I'd never really done anything to do with NLP. It far exceeded any kind of expectations that I had.
Chris as a trainer is fantastic. He makes things that can sound technical. Let's face it, neuro-linguistic programming is full of language that we'd rather scrub out because it presents a barrier to some people, but presenting in a format that spoke to me as well as the most academic in the room, and I think that for me was brilliant.
My role has changed a lot since I first went on the course, and the role that I have now involves supporting a clinical lead in managing quite a large team of people, and I've been able to use some of the techniques that I learnt on the course with my staff in order to help them manage their anxiety and to enable them to develop their skills further.
I loved the stuff around perceptual positioning, understanding other people's preferences, because in my job I work with people, it's about people, the NHS is about people. They are the core of what we do. So I think understanding what makes people tick on the inside and how different they are on the inside as to what they are on the outside really benefits communications and relationships and ultimately patient care.
Chris presented the esteeming model, the esteeming strategy. It forces you to look backwards so you see growth rather than look forward, and from then on I think lots just made sense, because a lot of what I do is working with change with other people, so part of my roles, most of the roles I take are to influence change in other people, especially people that are recovering from drugs and alcohol problems that sat in a period of deficit. A lot of these tools and techniques I use pretty much for all the groups I deliver, for the training I deliver.
Since being part of the Accelerate programme, my team, they saw a very significant change in me, that I was much more confident, much more direction, knew where I wanted to go, and some of the tools and techniques have had a real benefit to the team as well, so I'm able to share some of those.
Very happy that I attended the programme right from April to today. What I plan for the future is to implement what I've learned, put it into practice, develop myself, support staff more, give the best care to my residents, and also to continue to attend further training program.
It's changed me as a person and how I actually communicate. And as a result of gaining that confidence, it's allowed me to have better relationships with others, whether it's on a professional or a personal level, and that for me is invaluable and it'll stay with me forever.
The whole course has been a really positive experience, and I think to take that forward, I'd like to learn more. I'd like to find a mentor who has a similar outlook and sort of understanding of it, and I ultimately I think I would like to be able to teach other people what I've learned.
I think it was well designed, staged perfectly, it was scaled upwards and upwards and upwards. The fact that you can take stuff away, make it experiential, so it's not just a trainer stood there saying, this is how things work, you go and do that. It's like, this is how things work, go use it, come back and tell us about it next month.
It's really satisfying to know that with staff, with the patients and their relatives, the carers, that I'm able to help them to feel better about what's going on, even though it might be some really difficult circumstances that they're going through at the time.
I think we should be using this more widely, not just in Yorkshire and Humber. I think resilience for people, which is one of the main things that you get from Accelerate, is so important for people at the moment. They're under so much pressure, so much challenge, that it should be more widespread.
For somebody wanting to start the Accelerate programme, I would tell anybody to at least try it, because these are tools for change, these are tools for life. It makes me feel like I'm putting something back in, like it was a worthy investment.
I would say to anybody wanting to come onto the programme to just go for it. You know, come in with an open mind, be prepared to discover things about yourself and rediscover as I did.
It is very, very important to attend this type of program, and I would recommend it to anybody, because whatever you don't have as a leader, you cannot give it to your staff. But knowledge is power. The moment you come for this type of program, you are equipping yourself to be a good leader.
It's not just a set of techniques or tools that you're given to use, it's a way of thinking and a way of being and communicating, so you can't not use it, it is just part of who you are.
It was life-changing. It gave me a whole new lease of life, gave me confidence, gave me direction, gave me focus to be able to achieve the goals that I wanted to achieve.